The following video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hi everyone, and welcome to another speed build. Today I'm sharing the first build that I made with the Tiny Living Stuff Pack, which will be out on January 21st. I did receive an early access code from EA, which is why I'm able to have the video up today. But in addition to this being my first build using this pack, I think this is also the first proper tiny house that I made. I've of course made starter homes before, which, some of which probably fall within the size requirements of this pack, but I feel like that's kind of a separate thing, and this is definitely the first time I've done something that is specifically supposed to be a tiny home. And before I get into the details of this build, I just want to talk a little bit about how tiny houses work with this pack. So with this pack, you do get a new lot type that is called Tiny Home Residential Lot, and there are different tiers within it. So the tiers are micro, tiny, and small home, and there's different size requirements for each of those tiers. So micro is 32 tiles, which is very small. Tiny is 64 tiles, which is what this is, and this house is barely a tiny house. Like, I literally used 64 out of the 64 tiles for it. And then a small home is 100 tiles, and depending on which tier your house falls into, there are different benefits that it gets. And the smaller the house is, the more benefits that it gets. So you'll see some of them being taken away as you get into the larger tiers. So as far as what we're doing this build, I wanted to make something that had more of an industrial feel to it, because for a while now I have been wanting to do something that is shipping container home inspired. So I decided to go into that direction with this house. So what I did was I made it so it looked like one side of it was made from a shipping container, and then there was this other part that was added onto it that's sort of like an entryway slash an office is what it ends up being. So that has all of these floor to ceiling glass windows, and I used the ones that came with Island Living for that. And then the shipping container part of it has those windows from the Moschino Stuff Pack, which I really like, and I just have not gotten enough use out of this window, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to use that. And with the interior of this house, I went with a lot of grays and blacks in it. I really like the feel of how it came out, so I'm just going through and picking out the wallpaper and flooring for it. And normally when I do speed builds, I finish the entire outside first and then move on to the interior, but with this build, I actually did the interior first and then finished the outside because I was just so excited to use the different items that came with this pack. So we're already starting on the bathroom, and I'm using the new toilet and the new sink, which I really like. And the items in this pack have kind of like, they feel like they have kind of an IKEA-esque vibe to them, which I think makes sense because I feel like they're kind of trying to go for a Swedish-inspired style, because I was watching the Tiny Living live stream, and they said that it was, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this so much, but they said it was Huga inspired, or Huga. I think it's closer to Huga. Like, I can never really get the pronunciation of this correct, so sorry if I'm like horribly mispronouncing that, but it's just kind of I think it's a Nordic word. I could be wrong in that just kind of like, it means like a sense of comfort. Like, it's not really like a specific interior style, but I think they're trying to convey the message of that through the items in this pack. And then through that, I guess they came up with more of a Scandinavian inspired style. And I think the term is actually more so from Denmark and Norway than it is from Sweden. But currently I'm working on the kitchen, and I'm using the new table that came with this pack. So this is more of a bar height table. I was kind of surprised that there's just a bar height table with this pack rather than, regular height dining table, because there are actually dining chairs that came with this pack, but I guess those can always be used more so as desk chairs than dining chairs, or, just use them as dining chairs with, with other tables from other packs. But here I'm just getting all the clutter in, and with this kitchen, I was trying to not go too overboard with the clutter. I wanted this house to have a bit more of a minimal style to it, and even though this house fell into the tiny house category, it wasn't actually that challenging to furnish and fit everything into. Like, I was surprised by how easily I was able to get everything in. So I think I definitely need to challenge myself more and try to make a micro home for my next build, which is going to be, half the size of this one. So that is going to be a lot harder, but it is a challenging that I would love to have to work out, because I really feel like I didn't have to make many sacrifices with this house. I mean, you've got a pretty good sized bathroom. I was able to fit a toilet, a sink, and a shower in there. And then the bedroom ends up being a combo bedroom and living room, so I guess that was an area where I had to make a sacrifice, so I'm working on that over here. So I did use this Murphy bed that is a couch combo, and then across from that I stuck a TV, and I also put a curtain there, so even though there's no doors, I wanted to just have a curtain there to kind of give a bit of a feel of privacy, so something that still keeps the house very open, but really makes that area feel like something that is sectioned off. So I also used this new dresser that came with the pack, which I really like too. I personally really like the furniture that came with this pack. I like the style of it. I like the mixture of the different swatches that are there because they do have a nice mixture of different wood trims, and then some of the swatches are more colorful than others. So with the TV and that dresser over there, the TV has the same wood swatch as the dresser, but it has a little bit more color to it. But there was also a swatch for that, like what I used for the dresser, that doesn't have that color to it. It has more of that wood color everywhere. So I just like having those options of more colorful or more neutral with the same wood grain that you can kind of mix and match together if you want one item to look a little bit more colorful than the other. And this house overall isn't really the most colorful. It's of course a lot of blacks and grays with a few pops of bright blues and yellows throughout. But I definitely want to try to make another build with this pack that uses items and swatches that are a lot more colorful. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do in this micro home build that I want to make. And the nice thing about having, this new tiny living stuff pack is that I have an excuse to just make a bunch of tiny builds, which is great right now because I am going to be going away for a couple of weeks very soon, and I am worried about trying to have videos up while I'm gone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but being able to make tiny homes definitely helps with that a lot more. So I'm going to try to make several this week and then have them go up while I'm gone. So there's at least something, and it's not like I'm not going to have any videos up for a couple of weeks. So we'll see how that goes, since I am going to have to, of course, work 40 hours this week. So that's going to take a bunch of time. But yeah, I think I'll be able to have something up while I'm gone. And for the trip, I'm going to be going to Disney World, which I know is a little cheesy, but I am really excited for it because I haven't been there since I was 15 and I went with my family, and that was the only time I've ever gone there. So it's going to be a fun experience to go there as an adult and not have to have it be the whole family vacation thing. It's just going to be my husband and I, so we can just do whatever we want and we can try different things in addition to just the parks. So I am really looking forward to that because it's been, I think, 3 or 4 years since I did a proper, go somewhere for a week or so type vacation. So I'm just really looking forward to that break and just have fun and do that. But at this point, I'm done with the interior of the build, so I'm back out to the exterior to finish all of that up. And this may be a little cheaty, but I did use the roof as some extra living space, because if you don't properly put down tiles, like pull the tiles out of the menu where the walls and flooring is and then put it down, then it doesn't actually count it as tiles towards the, tiny home rank. So that is kind of a way to get some extra space if you don't want to have it count. So up here we just have some lounge chairs, and I pointed them over, I kind of looked around the lot a little bit to see where there are really nice views. So I pointed this in the direction where you could kind of see the river going a little bit more through the mountains, and it's just really pretty. I mean, on this lot, it's beautiful in any direction that you look in, but I just like that direction. And then we also have an art easel up there and a punching bag. I didn't want to clutter that up with too much because, again, I wanted to keep a little bit more of a minimal feel to this house. But right now I'm just working on the terrain painting and kind of marking out the pathways throughout this lot, and then getting an outdoor table and chairs out here in this little patio area behind the house. And then we got a grill out there on the back of the house. And then over here we've got a fire pit. And I also I thought there was more space on this lot than there actually ended up being, because I also was thinking I would be able to include a whole fenced in garden, but I didn't quite have enough space for that. Although part of that was because I did put down these solar panel decorations. I mean, I guess I could use that to make a garden instead, so these things here, but I just thought that this was something cool to add to this lot and give it this feel of being kind of off the grid, even though it isn't an actual off the grid lot, because if I did that, then I wouldn't have been able to have had the Murphy bed and have it work, because another thing they mentioned in the live stream is that Murphy beds will not work with the off the grid lot trait, because there's something that is electronic, your Sims use a remote to move the bed down, so it makes sense you wouldn't be able to use that in the off the grid lot. So yeah, for those reasons, I just decided not to do that, but I still wanted to make it look like that is where they get their power from. So there's some eco-friendliness, extra eco-friendliness going on here. And in addition to that, I also have the drying line and wash bucket out front. So, that's how they do their laundry in this house, since I was not really able to fit a full washer and dryer on the inside of it. But right now I'm just finishing up the landscaping. So I did use a lot of stuff from the debug menu because I really like there are just so many awesome plants within that menu. Like, I really like these darker bushes. There's actually a couple of different kinds of bushes that I use here, but I just really like those bushes because they are something that I have been wanting from the regular menu. So I'm glad that we're at least able to get it out of that, but we're almost at the end of the video. So as usual, there will be a link to download this in the description. So even though the pack isn't out yet, you can still download that and have it in your library ready to go for when it is out. But that is going to be it for me. So if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching and bye.